Greetings, my fellow freedom love sovereign thinkers. Thank you for tuning to LL3 Podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful realms of planet Earth. Today's date is Sunday, August 10th, 2025. It's episode 1872. From Hiroshima to the Mark of the Beast, and happy birthday, Ron Paul. Before I proceed, you can follow me on multiple social media sites and podcast channels. Just type in Look Your Luck number 3, Look Your Luck Roman number 3 with 3 eyes, or the Look Your Luck Roman number 3 podcast. Furthermore, if you have any questions, comments, recommendations, and all that good stuff, whatever you do, please use decorum. Hit me via email to ll3.podcast@proton.me. If you want to donate, go to paypal.me or cash.app/Look Luck number 3. You could do the same on Steemit. Follow Crypto Love donations if you want at LL number 3-podcast. Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully everyone's having a good weekend around the world, wherever you're at. Yeah, it's pretty humbling, I can say. Always been thankful on what I achieved in life. Never take things for granted or say things out of pretentiousness, but rather with homage and in good faith. We only live once, my friends. Let's value it the best we can. We do have great gifts within us and a story to tell on our history. To always have vision and achieve what you can. Don't get overstrenuous. Things do take time. Always expect obstacles or pothole moments. That's how life is. Enduring is the key to success, rather than quitting, forfeiting, and be apathetic. That gets you nowhere. Engaging does. The reason why I say that, because many folks out there claim they're this and that, and all I hear is rhetoric, and a lot of it is unmerited. Some folks don't even know what racism is. They call you racist because you disagree on something, or you're anti-Semitic because you renounce the actions of rogue elements in an Israeli government. That's all hogwash. Baseless. Don't be like them. Pursue your own journey. We all have it in different avenues, including yours truly. And things I don't regret. Yes, there's errors I made in life. Learn from it and improve. Don't linger. Don't whine. Or grieve. Because a person like myself would be playing an out-of-tune violin. Give me sympathy. Opus wine. So, it's going to be a little history lesson here in this one area before I hit those other two articles. I got this from the zerohedge.com. It's a history of American recessions. Came out today. Tyler Drudden. Says here, the official designation of a recession comes from a committee at the National Bureau of Economic Research, or NEBR, a private, non-profit research organization. The committee considers a wide range of economy-wide data points, but NEBR views GDP and as the best single measure. A committee calls a recession once there's a significant decline across these measures for more than a few months. The NEBR's official destination of a recession then doesn't happen until there are several months of data allowed to be sure both that a recession happened and when exactly it started. In other words, as Veroni Voronoi. Yeah, Voronoi. Note, excuse me. I just got a little tongue-tied there. The Niebuhr looks backward, not at the present moment. And there's a little map on here. And according to them, the U.S. has experienced 34 recessions since 1855. And there's a nice little list of this. One time is the large 65 months from October 1873 to March 1879. Let's give you some examples from USA Facts, by the way. From the source, Voronoi. Using this measure, here's a few Heinz insights. From 1855 to 2020, recessions lasted an average of 17 months. In the 20th and 21st centuries, the average recession has decreased to 14 months. The longest recession lasted 65 months, from October 1973 to March 1979. The U.S. has gone through 13 recessions since World War II. The longest recession since World War II was the Great Recession. The shortest recession was during COVID-19 from February to April 2020. Although economic struggles and the Great Depression marked the 1930s, the Niebuhr defined recession lasted from September 1929 to March 1933. In other words, there used to be more official recessions. Interesting, right? Oh, yeah. Everything has dipped in the economy, but doesn't mean, like I said before, don't stagnate, don't complain, keep doing, right? And right now, the rate things are going, they said it was like $254 trillion in debt to all the nations around the world. So, the banksters, the Rothschilds, the control freaks love it. They want to take everything and say, you own nothing and be happy. Always think about that. Very intriguing indeed. So don't fall for the hype or the propaganda. Observe responsibly. And I digress. I'll be right back for my next segment. Good grief, I'm like tongue-tied here. So stay tuned. Alright, the first thing I'll be reading here came out August 8th, a couple days ago. Wish I would have got this one earlier. By thebigwobble.org. From Hiroshima to the Mark of the Beast. 80 years of war, crisis, and the rise of the mighty military, climate, surveillance, medical, industrial complex. While we were sleeping, the foundation for a one-world government was laid. This week marks the 80th anniversary of the Hiroshima and Nagasaki atomic bombs. First and only time nuclear weapons were used in war. America dropped them on Japan in August 1945 to bring the Second World War to an end. Rightly or wrongly, the experiment worked, but at the cost of more than 300,000 Japanese lives. A proud but shattered Japan surrender, and the victorious West celebrated, promising an age of peace and prosperity, unlike anything the world had known. It was, we were told, the war to end all wars. 80 years, the reality is the exact opposite. The 21st century has been shaped not by peace, but by constant hum of war, and by the rise of vast interconnected power structures that feed on crisis and feed the entitled and unimaginary wealth and power. The world at boiling point. A snapshot of today's conflicts reads like a grim roll call. Ukraine. Since Putin's 2022 invasion, the U.S. has poured nearly $200 billion into the war, with billions more from NATO allies. Russia has spent a similar sum and lost almost 1 million troops, no end in sight. Israel and Gaza. Since 7th of October 2023, Israel's war against Hamas has killed over 60,000 Palestinians and left Gaza in ruins and pushed the region to the brink of famine. Iran looms in the background, ready to strike. Ethiopia, Amhara region, clashes between Fana militia and federal forces, including a drone strike on a primary school that killed 100 plus, left a trail of death and disappearances. Cambodia-Thailand border. Fighting flared in May 25th, 2025, with ceasefires broken within days, thousands displaced. Haiti. Gang-controlled Port-au-Prince is a humanitarian disaster with over 1 million displaced and cholera spreading. Myanmar. Civil war rages, rebel groups capturing towns despite a rebranded junta. Sudan. The RSF and SAF are locked in a third year of devastating conflict. Georgia, still partly under Russian military occupation since 2008. Rwanda, DRC, which is the Democratic Republic of Congo. Tensions remain despite a recent cooling. Azerbaijan and Armenia fought over Nagorno-Karabakh, an ethnically Armenian enclave in Azerbaijan in the 1980s and 1990s, and violence has split up in the years since. China, Taiwan, and India, Pakistan, North and South Korea, China and India, simmering and potentially explosive. It is hard to escape the conclusion. President Eisenhower's 1960 war warning about the military-industrial complex was prophetic. The machinery of war didn't fade after World War II. It grew, wrapped itself around the globe, and now fuels an endless churn of conflict. The military-industrial complex and its children. Eisenhower's military-industrial complex is no longer alone. Over the decades of new industrial complexes have emerged. Vast systems of government, corporations, finance, media, and technology, each reinforcing the other. These include, number one, the climate industrial complex, renewable energy plants, carbon credit markets, ESG consulting firms, green finance, and global agencies all profit from environmental policy. While climate change is real and measurable, the industry around it has become a multi-trillion-dollar enterprise ripe for exploitation. So the question is, kill bono, who benefits? 2. The surveillance industrial complex. Governments, big tech, and intelligence agencies are harvesting everything from your location to your biometric data. For safety has become the justification for mass monitoring, conditioning entire generations to accept being watched and listened to all the times. Trust us, we will protect you. Number 3. The medical industrial complex. Big pharma, device mark makers, hospital chains, insurers, regulators, and research institutions form a profit-driven system where prevention takes a backseat to treatment. Lobbying and influence can shape policy as much as science does. Trust the science. Trust the state. If you don't, you're filled with hate. I'm being sarcastic, but satire, so think about it, folks. The web of control, laying the foundation for a one-world government. These aren't separate empires anymore. They're interlocked. The military needs tech for weapons, surveillance, and data. Tech companies to sell both the medical and climate sectors. Finance funds them all, and the media sell their narratives to the public. Each complex justifies the other's existence and growth. It's a global web, and the strands are tightening. 2 decades of quiet construction. The control grid didn't appear overnight. It was built step by step. 2001 to 2005, the security shift. 9/11 ushered in mass surveillance powers. Patriot Act, Homeland Security, airports, borders, and public spaces became testing grounds for biometric systems. 2005 to 2010, health meets security. Bird flu, swine flu, drove the creation of international emergency health emergency laws, marrying public health and national security. 2010 to 2015, digital identity foundations. Smartphones normalizes sharing personal data. India's Aadhaar system became the world's largest biometric database. Militaries integrate AI into tracking systems. Do you feel safe out there, folks? I do. I could dream. 2015 to 2019, financial control and social scoring. China's social credit system linked finance and behavior. Mobile payments replaced cash. Central banks began researching digital currencies. Always have hard assets. Never leave all your eggs in one basket. Remember, folks, gold and silver is great. Bartering is good. Have stuff that's tangible. If you own land, that's a great asset. They want you, like I said before, be own nothing and be happy. I know I repeat myself. 2020, 2022, the COVID catalyst, lockdowns, digital vaccine passports, and QR code tracking brought population-level digital access control into everyday life. This day and age, bending over to the states, patriotic, and we'll hit here. 2022 to 2025, integration and expansion. CBDC pilot projects accelerated. The WHO pushed for a global pandemic treaty. Wearable and implantable health trackers moved into mainstream medicine. Building bricks for the mark of the beast. Revelation 13 describes a time when no one can buy or sell without the mark. Today, the infrastructure exists or is being rapidly built to make such a system possible. As it says here, digital IDs linked to health, finance, and travel. Central bank digital currency that can be switched on and off at will. AI-driven surveillance, capable of tracking behavior in real time. Behavioral condition that has traced billions to comply with restrictions for safety. Left, the BBC cookie policy to help you. So next time your computer asks if you're a robot or the charming super sexy AI voice leaves you thrice smitten and gasping for more, or the YouTube video is claiming you're a genius, remember it's just a code and it's probably trying to take something from you or deceive you. From a biblical perspective, the pieces don't have to be forced into place. They're already aligning. The beast system doesn't need to arrive in a single dramatic moment. It has been quietly in the background under the banners of safety, progress, and sustainability, or like the BBC above is claiming, to help you. It will finally happen very quickly. All robots and AI will be equipped with new technology called General Intelligence, or AGI, a computer system smarter than any gifted human individual, which will recursive self-improvement will be able to morph very quickly into the smartest every human on every imaginary subject or level. This cannot be stopped. It's already out there, approving itself. Within 6 years, super intelligence computers, ASI, will have arrived. These will be smarter than the collective sum of humans. Now here is the caveat. There is no human understanding or language to describe what will happen when this happens, and the problem is, it's already happening faster than humans can address it. But AI will keep on keeping on and continue riding into the sunset, leaving us behind. In just a few years, untold millions will be jobless, a useless generation of bottom feeders with no hope or earning any money to look after the families. People will have to give up their property, cars, and jewelry to pay a tax to the government. The Great Reset. You will own nothing and be happy. The mark of the beast. By taking the mark, people are growing pressure. Then will then receive accommodation, a small monthly amount of money to buy food, clothes, and receive health care. Could we say the universal basic income, anyone? I asked my own AI program, could AI be part of the mark of the beast? The reply was astonishingly honest. The short answer is, yes, it's very possible, and increasingly plausible. The AI will be involved in, or even central to, the system that enforced the mark of the beast described in Revelation 13. The Creator's warning. 80 years ago, humanity unleashed the most destructive weapon in history, promising to end the global war instead. Instead, we've built a world where conflict, crisis, and control have become permanent fixtures, profitable for some, devastating for many. We've traded freedom for security, stewardship for exploitation, and truth for manufactured narratives. The web is nearly complete, and we are just waiting for the lawless one. The only question now is this. When the Bible demands allegiance, will we step into it willingly or step away back towards the Creator's design? The Bible says those who refuse the mark of the beast will be killed. I can't see non-believers refuse the mark. Why would they? Many people wouldn't dare step away. No blame there. Others with children won't be able to step back. They will have to feed their kids and pay their mortgage, and they will be trapped. Pregnant and sick people will also have to comply. And, as we saw during the COVID-19 pandemic, the government, media, and our own colleagues and friends and family will try to pressure us into doing the right thing. Take the mark so you can look after granddad. He's on his own. Will believers be brave enough to say no? In the infamous words of Edgar Allan Poe, that man is not truly brave who is afraid either to seem or to be when it suits him. A coward. But if we are drunk in that moment with the Holy Spirit, I would suggest anything is possible. Take care, folks. Interesting there, right? Oh, yes. If each individual, like I said before, has a great gift and a story to tell, we can be the most powerful people on the planet. Without us, they are nothing. It takes even individuals to build these AI programs. And there's always a flaw on Achilles' heels on terminating it. One thing about technology, folks, you want to enhance humanity or be enslaved. What's your road? I know what I'm going to be doing. I'll be the first one. Enhance myself and share with others. We all gotta be vigilant, my friends. They want this global order so bad, but I can tell you this. Long term, they will fail. And what are you gonna do? You're gonna be apathetic, to belly up, or engage by saying no. That's my intake on this article. And I'll be right back for the final segment, so stay tuned. Alright, I'm going to do one more here. Came from the Daily Bell. Happy birthday, Ron Paul. You incorrigible maverick. This was shared by Ben Barty, originally published via Armageddon Press. Let's read this for you. In the beginning of a change, the patriot's a scarce man, and brave and hated and scorned. When his cause succeeds, the timid join him, for then it costs nothing to be a patriot. Mark Twain. Some people look to Donald Trump's hostile GOP takeover in 2016, or else further back to the 2009 era Tea Party movement, as a watershed moment at which the GOP transformed into something other than what it had been, which was fully corrupt war machine party that served whatever special interest was willing to bankroll its candidates. Not meaningfully different on the matters that mattered most from the Democrat Party. I rather look back further to 2007. A college junior pursuing what turned to be a relatively worthless political science degree from a mid-tier state university, my political conscience still nascent, an unexpected hero emerged onto the national scene. That hero's name was Ronald Ernest Paul. Unimpressive with the plastic, polished veneer of Barack Obama, seeing through the facade and unmoved by an establishment Christian posing as a revolutionary, an assessment that I would later be vindicated in holding. Ron Paul, in contrast, represents something so dramatically divergent to me and truly independent in the greatest tradition of America that I immediately knew I was looking at my guy. And there's a video footage on this too, on the debate highlights of 2007. Like clockwork, out of the woodwork came the worst of actors of the GOP establishment to denigrate me, as the Gillians did with another orthodox figure all those years ago on another continent, as befalls with anyone who challenges the status quo. There's a video here about Ron Paul's Dangerous to America by Newt Gingrich. Hi, I'm Newt Gingrich. I'm a bend-over Bob to the global order. I demand respect from my supporters. I continue on. What Ron Paul was actually dangerous to was the ongoing trillion-dollar grift that is the federal United States government. Neocons accused Paul of being something called a crypto-Nazi. The liberal media applied that he crossed party appeal, smeared young left-leaning supporters of his as useful idiots. Paradoxically, the invective hurled at him and his supporters served to increase my admiration for the man. You can judge a man's character largely by the enemies he earns, and no one perhaps has garnered more or better enemies in Occupy Washington than Ron Paul. The honor of my professional career when Paul tweeted and covered one of my articles via Zero Hedge on his podcast, Godspeed, Good Doctor. You can look that tweet too for yourself. Let's check this tweet out for a moment. See what he has to say here. Let's check this out. I don't know if see how the tweet is. You can check out the tweet for yourselves, but I'm just pretty curious right now. See what it is. I know I'm just rambling for the moment, but forgive me. But one thing I can tell you this, my friends. A police state. We will see U.S. troops on U.S. soil using lethal force against Americans. That was on October 14th, 2024. So there's a link for that, and I have to agree. And I'm glad Mr. Barty was supported Ron Paul, including yours truly, because he was a man of principle, consistent, and constitutionally inclined. Not image, not being pretty, or how many people kissed their butt to get his respect. He earned it on principle. And many people mocked me for supporting this man. Now they're all eating crow. I wonder why. This is why, my friends, we got to do our homework more thoroughly. You got the internet as a tool, utilize it. Don't just listen to the pundits or the beakerzoids. Go digging. Look at the voting records of these individuals, whether it's federal, state, or local. When we read the Declaration of Independence, what was the main objective that the 57 men signed? To secede from Great Britain. He's telling the people, never trust us, period, as government. Never trust them. It's not being anti-American. It's our heritage. May our contemporaries engage it thoroughly. I do like to thank Dr. Ron Paul for his serving as a congressman and him running for president 3 times. He got shafted running for Senate in Texas because the GOP, the established scumbags, just like the Democrats, are owned by the same puppet masters. That's right. The battle of the lefties. the GOP and the Democratic Party. Remember, if people think Lincoln was a conservative, I have palm trees to sell for you imported from Pluto. And to be honest about Lincoln, in my humble opinion, based on the research I did, he started using interest-free money for the war. That's one of the reasons why he got shot. But doesn't mean I'm going to love the man. This is why we got to be consistent. We can't sit back and relax thinking everything is awesome. Everything is awesome. You're in the winning team. That's diuretic. Who's going to tell me in the music world, musicians, that song influenced me being the business? Think about that, folks. So never believe the hype. Observe responsibly and remain vigilant. And like I said before, never trust the government. Thank you, Congressman Ron Paul, or the doctor. You can even find him on the Liberty Report too, my friends. Just look it up. It's not that hard. Well, that will be it. I thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share throughout your social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, recommendations, and all that good stuff, whatever you do, please use decorum. Hit me via email to ll3.podcast@proton.me. I will leave the episodes or the footnotes of this episode. Check it out for yourselves. If you want to donate, go to PayPal.me or Cash on @4/look3. If you want to hit Steam it, you can follow me there, Crypto Love @LL3 3-podcast. If you want to support the Big Wobble, Daily Bell, even Zero Hedge, that'll be very good. We're not here to get brownie points. We just want to put this information out, and you can decide for yourselves. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that demonic resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves, keep on spreading love, and may your guardian spirits be with you.